Welcome back, mathematicians. The warm-up today was to discuss with a partner how these equations are similar and how they are different. And you're using what you and your partner notice to solve each one mentally. So in this case, we're not going through the process of solving any equations by taking steps to go backwards. We're just kind of looking at, like in part A, 8 times what gives you 80. 8 times what gives you 8. 8 times what gives you 1. 1/8 times what gives you 1, to see if you recognize a pattern. Remember, it's all about recognizing patterns. Slide 2. So here we have two robots. We're going to enter some different scale factors, and we're going to see what happens. Let's try to put in 2. And we'll put in 3. So you should notice that it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, let's try something different. Let's try 1. And it becomes the same. What about 0.5? Oh, very small. Same two robots, and now we're trying to make them match. So here we go from 8 to 32. So SAM3 to SAM4 goes from 8 to 32. So how can I make it go from 8 to 32? Well, I know that 8 times 4 would be 32. So let's see if that is a scale factor of 4. Perfect. So this find the factor is all about trying to figure out what we're multiplying by, right? That scale factor is multiplication, what we're multiplying by to go from one shape to the other shape. The scale factor of 4 will make SAM3 match SAM4. Now this one's asking, how do you go backwards? Right? How do I go from SAM4 to SAM3? Well, one thing that people went through last time we saw this as a mistake was that they were trying to get SAM to be smaller, so they multiplied by -4. And let's see what happens. He is upside down, right? Because if that middle is 0 and I multiply by a negative, he flips just like on a number line. So let's see. I'll try 2, right? But the purple just gets bigger, right? So SAM4 is just getting bigger. I want SAM4 to get smaller. We try 0. But now he's gone. So I'm trying to go from 32 to 8. So what do I multiply 32 by to get to 8? And the answer is 1/4. Okay, now we're asked to complete the drawing of Rover using a scale factor of 1/2. So let's see. I know my scale factor is 1/2, so that I'm going to be multiplying all of the dimensions by 1/2. Okay, so this is 2, this is 4. These are 4 apart. This is also 2 and 4. So you see how I'm just labeling everything? And how big is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12. From here to here, that distance is 4, 4, 4, 4. This antenna is 3. And then those eyes are like, I think they're 1, but they're kind of like in between. So let's see what happens when I use a scale factor of 1/2. So this distance in between the eyes, it was 4. 4 times 1/2 gives me 2, so I know it's going to be 2. It's going to have one start here and one start there. I know that 2 times 1/2 is 1, so it's going to go up 1. 4, right, times 1/2 is 2, so it's going to go over 2. And see how I'm just changing all of these dimensions based on my multiplication. And then this is 4, really 2. So we're starting there, starting there. It's going down 1 block. I know it goes down 1 block because of this right here. This is 2 blocks there. Finish the line there. Make some pretty eyes. Now the antenna is kind of tough, so it's 3, and the scale factor is 1/2, so I have to multiply it by 1/2. And 3 times 1/2 is 3/1 times 1/2. That's 3/2, which is the same as saying it's 1.5. So I'm going up 1.5. And there's my antenna. So now we're looking at Adira's screen. So Adira, what did Adira do well? Something that Adira did well. So it looks like she did a good job showing her scale factors with 4 and a 2. 12 goes to 6, 2/4 and 6/12. What can she improve upon? Well, one thing that I noticed is that she didn't reduce the vertical height. So right there it's 2, and it's still 2. And here it's 4, and she changed it to 2. So there are some things that she didn't change. She didn't change the antenna. She didn't change this distance. She didn't change this distance. Scale in reverse. Suppose the scale factor from the original copy is 1/2. Suppose you want to scale the copy back to the original. What scale factor should you use? So this lesson, kind of the enduring understanding, is to get you to see that there's a play between going one way and then going the other. There's a pattern, right? So before, I was multiplying the shape by 1/2 to get it to be smaller. Now I want to go back, I want to make it bigger. So how do I go from, how do I go from 2 to 4 or 6 to 12? Right, so I'm doubling it, I'm multiplying it by 2. And so it does indeed get me back there. So how are they related? If you look at, when we compare these two, it's easier to look at them both as a fraction, like the same number form. So 2 as a fraction is 2/1. And 1/2 as a fraction is 1/2. So do you notice that they're just flipped around? Let me see if I can go back here a couple slides so I can draw a little bit. So we have we have 1/2 and we have 2/1. So the play here is that they are reciprocals of each other. So when answering this question, How are the two scale factors related? They're reciprocals. Like we're going back and forth. They're opposites. Now for all of these ones, you're being challenged with trying to figure out a scale factor to make the robots match. And this arrow is kind of telling you which way you're going. So this one's you're going from the green to the pink. So how do you go from 8 to 16? Well, 8 times 2 is 16, so let's see if that works. And it does. And you're going to keep doing more challenges, and eventually you get to this lesson synthesis. So this is the most important part of the lesson, is just kind of understanding where you are now. So this number line, you can think of it as a number line here. If I play with this, it makes the shape bigger and smaller. Right? And what they're asking is, at what point, what do you recognize about these numbers that makes the shape bigger, the smaller, and the same? So let's get it to be the same, because that's kind of like the thing, the part where it starts to change over. So if I have a scale factor of 1, it's the same. Okay, but what happens when it's above 1 or below 1? Okay, so now if I go to the left, I'm using numbers below 1, and it starts to get smaller until it's non-existent. Right? If I go more than 1, it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the enduring kind of understanding of this lesson is that two things really. Your scale factor is reciprocals. When you're going from one figure then back to the other, they're opposite. So that's the pattern. And then the last one is that the numbers that you multiply by can give you a hint as to what the figure is going to look like. So if you multiply by 1, it's the same. If it's less than 1, it's smaller. Okay, and if it's greater than 1, it's 0. And again, here you're looking at the scale factor. This is for you to try to answer, and then I'm going to check your answer as we go on. And how well did you understand it? For me, very well, and I feel great.